I think we should be cautious with AI.
Despite reporting better than expected quarterly results, tech giant Microsoft announced it will be laying off roughly 6,000 employees.
Big tech companies like Meta, Google, and Amazon have been laying off a staggering amount of workers, tens of thousands of people.
If you're not prepared to learn how to use AI, you're going to be crushed by the machine.
So I've been using AI a lot in my business, and I wanted to give you guys an overview of the agent I created and how you can create one as well and use it in your business to run a bunch of different processes that waste a lot of your time. Now, I'm going to preface this clearly by saying this was very difficult. I sat here while I was sick and before I was sick, but I knew I was getting sick, mainly because of my Whoop. It kind of gives me an idea of when I'm getting sick in advance. I sat here for probably 7 to 8 hours a day, if not longer. Sometimes it was wake to sleep because I wasn't doing anything, I was sick, just coding it and teaching it how to really behave, because this thing is, to be honest, it's not that smart. It's like you're speaking to somebody with a disability when you're training this thing. And I just want to make that abundantly clear. This is a difficult process, but when you actually get it done, it is well worth it. And it has already replaced the VAs that I have had that costed me about $1,500 per month. Okay, so I'm sure you have a bunch of questions like, how do you do this? How do I do the same? What plan do I need? We're gonna run through all of that right now, so let's get straight into it. First off, while you're training it, I highly recommend, I hate to just encourage you to spend money. I don't like spending money, but you gotta get the max plan and the 20x, because you're going to see while you're training it, it's too dumb. It's going to run out of memory or whatever it is, the usage, literally just at the snap of your fingers. You gotta get the max plan. I'm reevaluating it if I still need it after me training it, because I'm not using nearly as much usage anymore. But while you're training it, it's very stupid. And you just have to, like, it's just very dumb. It's very, very dumb. You're talking to a toddler. So you need as much usage as possible. So in the beginning, I recommend you get the max plan. So another thing is, how do you go about even creating it? Because that's one very important thing, and that's probably the main part of this video. Creating it is very difficult, but what I did specifically that I think was different to a lot of people, where they wouldn't get theirs to work and I did, was I would let it control my computer, and I would pause it while it was running, and I would say, look, you need to screen record and watch me doing X task constantly, and I want you to do that in order to see how I'm doing it so you can then replicate it. And that was a total trial and error game. That was probably most of the time I spent doing it. And at the end, I would ask it to create a skill, and then I'd save the skill and then have it save the memory every single time. So that's kind of how you create it and how you get into it. But like I said, it's very difficult. Like, for example, sending emails and inputting PDFs into the email. So we are reaching out to brands for our business, and we need a lot of times articles of organization, EIN number, so something like that. It is very difficult, and this alone took about 4 hours to do, I kid you not. It was very bad at just doing something so simple, just putting the PDFs on the email. And a lot of people would just quit and just do it themselves and just get pissed off. I was surely getting pissed off. Trust me, I was getting very pissed off. But what I will tell you is that in the end, after the 4 hours, it saved the skill, and now it does it like there's no tomorrow. And that's really the whole thing with this, is you really have to work with it. It's kind of like you're training a virtual assistant from scratch, but it's a dumbass robot. It's not smart. I say this so many times in this video because I'm trying to get you to understand, totally understand is probably a better type of fake word that I'm trying to use, that this thing is so stupid. It's very, very, very stupid. You're talking to someone with severe mental disabilities. It will not listen to you so many times until you eventually get it right. And that's just something you have to really be prepared for, because this is a lengthy process. But when you get it done and it's working, I'm going to showcase a little bit of it during this video. This thing can fire 300 emails in an hour, like that. Also, one thing for my business that definitely matters is learning. I taught it how to qualify brands and listings and items for my FBA dropshipping wholesale business, and it's really insane how long it took, but it's insane to see that it's working. Like, it's actually qualifying them correctly. And sometimes it makes so many mistakes, you just have to let the nuance go and then just give it a hard roll as well. But when you do, man, this stuff is special. Another thing you may want to consider when you're doing this is getting a desktop computer. I don't know if you can see it in the back. Right there. That's a Mac Studio. The reason is I have the Max plan and I want it running and giving me the best return on my investment as possible. You're still paying $200 a month nonstop. At least I am right now. And I want it to be able to run from my phone. Similar to how, I guess, OpenClaw, whatever it was. OpenClaw, the security issue one, worked. So Dispatch now allows you to just start everything from your phone. The only error I'm really having with Dispatch also is that it starts the regular Dispatch tasks, and I moved over to Claude Code. I want everything in Claude Code. It makes things a lot easier in my opinion. Uses more tokens though. But it just won't start the Claude Code, so I'm going to mess around with that a little bit more. But thus far, we have successfully trained an agent to run almost all operations. I mean, I've trained it so much that I even trained it to analyze why I'm not winning in Amazon. There's this thing called winning the buy box, and whoever is in that buy it now sort of button, which rotates throughout the day, gets all the sales. And I taught it how to analyze that and figure out what's going on. Like if I'm not competitive, if my shipping time is off, which is something that affects it, things like that, and it gives me a full rundown. But what's also impressive in something else that I taught it is it will create a spreadsheet of, this was similar to what my actual VAs were doing, and I trained it based off my former VAs SOPs and whatnot. I trained it to create these spreadsheets of brands and everything listed out. Well, one, it lists like everything out, and then two, it's not even using software. So one important thing about this specific agent that I trained is it's not even using any software. Like, this is getting ridiculous. This specific software that I used for like brand qualifying and figuring out what brands are good that meet my qualifications, this specific software is about $187 a month, and a lot of Amazon sellers use it. And there's another one that's $200 a month. So that's the max plan right there. And it's doing it without even needing the software. I don't know how it's doing it, but when I was first training the agent, I saw it doing it. Where was it? It was on the right-hand side, and it looked like it was doing it all back-end, which was just honestly incredible to see, because it basically is eliminating costs I otherwise would have needed to keep around and have in my business. So that's another incredible thing too. It's very confusing, but you kind of get the hang of it once you realize you're talking to a dumbass. Like, it's not smart. And I'm just going to always remind you that this is not smart AI. And personally, going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I actually think AI is probably going to plateau. I think it's going to be like the iPhone, and I think there's only so many things that a robot can actually do. And I think eventually, over the course of a decade, it will probably plateau. There will be only so many things a robot can do because it's not actually conscious. So that's one thing. And another thing in regards to that point is, why would companies make it actually smart? Why? Why would they? Because if they did, they're losing out on revenue, because you training this and having it do all this dumb stuff for Claude, for example, is taking up usage. Like, when it's acting dumb, it's still taking up usage, right? Which is why I said you need the max plan. So if they make it smart, it's going to affect their margins. They're not going to have as many people subscribe to the max plan or whatnot. And yeah, like, that's just how it's going to be. Now, it's going to incrementally better, but I think it's running very parallel to the sort of Apple trajectory where it's like there's only so many things X product, like a phone, can do, and it's just going to be like the same every year after that with minor improvements. That's kind of what I think, but to each their own. I'm going to show you guys a an example of it running throughout the video, so you should have seen some overlay clips of what it's doing in the background. Another reason I recommend a Mac Studio or a Mac Mini actually is because a lot of times when Dispatch, CoWork, and Claude Code is working, it will control your computer. So if I'm on my main laptop and it's doing something, it will pull me off the screen of everything that I'm looking at in order to do what it's doing. I don't want that happening. It's very annoying when it does that. And I was trying to stick with the one computer for a while, but I used my laptop for a lot of stuff beyond just AI, and it just didn't work out. So I need it all dedicated towards one machine, because if it wants to control it, fine, keep it on that computer. Don't bring it to my main laptop that I'm using. So that's another thing, and it's definitely something you want to consider when you're actually building this stuff out. But that's pretty much a rundown of how I'm winning with AI. And moral of the story is you want to train your AI agent like it is an employee. Like it knows nothing. Like it's like you hired an employee that didn't have any of the qualifications for your business, didn't have a bachelor's degree, has no work experience, the resume's blank. That's how you're treating this, and that's how you're training it. And that's something that you just have to understand when you're working with it, because as you train it and it gets quite a bit better, you're going to be running laps around your competition. And for reference, the type of volume it's doing in terms of emails, 300 emails in an hour. Bro, with a virtual assistant, we get about probably 150, 200 emails a week that are qualified. It's doing that in an hour. Now, it uses a ton of usage doing that. It maxes out the 20x doing that in the hour that it does that. But just to show you, like, and give you an idea of what's possible, that's kind of an explanation that I wanted to give you. But anyways, if you're interested in joining coaching, you want to start a business like mine, I do sell Amazon mentorship. It's a one-on-one coaching program with me where I walk you through everything. I make sure you're buying profitable inventory. I check your buys, everything like that. And I teach you everything I know about AI. I'm no AI expert, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I've learned thus far. All of that is included in the one-on-one mentorship. So if you're interested, go down below and book a call and just get ready to go. Anyways, besides that, I appreciate you watching, and make sure to like and subscribe down below. And other than that, I don't have much else to say. Have a good one, you guys, and I will see you in the next video.